Sumit,
Recording.
Sumit just joined. Hey, Sumit.
Yes. Hi, Sumit. All right. I have made a small presentation because I'm someone who just can't be a little random. I have to know in which direction I'm headed. So it doesn't have any it doesn't have any serious content. We're just going to be discussing some stuff around the book. To start with, I wanted to read a quote from a book because of which I was really interested to start this, fiction group with all of you. So just bear with me for a minute. So the book it's called The Reading List, and hopefully some third or the fourth book should be this book that we'll read together. Because this book inspired me to do this, and I'm just going to read something from the book. I know this isn't your usual thing, but I read To Kill a Mockingbird when I was 21 and going through a hard time. It taught me a lot back then, and I got to see the world through the
Mhm.
eyes of a child once more, the good and the bad. It was an escape for me. I threw myself into the world, into the injustices, into the characters, and it was a respite I needed from my own life, for it helped me care deeply about someone else's. I hope it can be an escape, a bit of a respite for you too. Sometimes books just take us away for a little while and return us to our place with a new perspective. So I always thought fiction did that for me because no matter what was going on in my life, good or bad, I was always transported to another world, and I loved and enjoyed the time with the book. That was my me time that I had. So that is what inspired me kind of to, come up with this fiction book. And when you guys read this book, you all will be amazed at what an amazing book this is. But that is when we actually read it. For now, I'm just going to quickly share my screen and we're going to get to what we are here today for. Another quote from this book, The Reading List. The magic of a good book lies in its ability to make us feel deeply. So, today we're going to be discussing Wonder after we've completed it. We started it on 1st June and completed it on 30th June. I am going to start with the plot of the book, and somewhere in the middle, while we're discussing, I would request each of you to share your views and how did you feel? How did the book make you feel? What did you feel about the book? Or anything that you want to share. All right. So the plot was that August Pullman, the main character was August Pullman, a 10-year-old boy who was homeschooled throughout his life with a lot of deformities that he had and a lot of surgeries he had to go through. But he was in a stage in his life where his parents decided that now he needs to be now he needs to be enrolled to a proper school. So they decided on Beecher Prep for him. And that had been a tough decision for his parents. And of course, this was also a tough decision for him because that would mean he would meet the people outside and especially the kids, because as they say in the books, uh, kids don't have filters. They would just say things. Maybe they wouldn't mean it, but they wouldn't have filters. So this book starts with how when he goes to school, how the kids react. They probably call him the plague. Some are scared of him. Some are disgusted. Some even make him feel miserable. And in the middle of all this, we see a beautiful friendship evolving between August, Summer, and Jack. So I love their friendship bit. Uh, it also revolves around the parents and his sister's boyfriend, sister's friend Miranda. So there are so many characters in this book. And of course, this book is a lot about perspectives, which I'm sure some of you might cover in your own review. So I don't want to talk about that. Uh, for me, the main thing or the main virtue of this book is kindness. And that is something I want to take away. That no matter where you are, who you are, or in what situation you are, don't forget to be kind. Mr. Brown, their teacher, and Mr. Tushman, their headmaster, keep reinforcing this message throughout the book. And even though you might call it a children's book, I think it had a lot of things for us to learn. And like I said, for me, kindness was the most important aspect of the book. Um, a lot of you would agree that one of the very important part of this book were the different perspectives that it offered. We had perspectives from Justin's point of view. We had the story from Justin's point of view, Olivia's point of view, Miranda's point of view, Summer, Jack's. There were so many point of views. So, would any of you want to share your thoughts about this book, about perspectives, or anything that you enjoyed about this book? You can also take the book out and read something if you like, whatever, I don't mind. Who would want to go first?
Hi Nikita, Sumedh here. Shall I go first?
Yes, Sumit, sure, please.
Okay. So I started reading this book, and again, I couldn't complete the book, but I got the glimpse of it.
Yeah.
So the summer story reminded me of my own story, and I'm not very good in looks. I'm a dark or maybe British kind of person. So in the childhood, I suffered a lot of bullying, lot of trauma for my color. Like my friend used to call me Kalu, Blackie, and I had that trauma basically. And when I read about the summer, sorry, the August, I think I see myself in the summer that he has also some problems. He has gone through, again, people stare at him. Like even here in UK also, I sometimes I feel I have been treated differently due to my color or maybe due to different ethnic origin. But still, he was able to do or able to get along the way. And I think though I haven't read the last or second part of the book. It's kind of Tarizam kind of book. So yeah, I think I struggle a lot, but yes, I was able to get along the way. So that is what I feel. That is what my perspective about the book. Over to you.
Amazing, Sumit. Thank you for sharing what you actually felt. I mean, I'm sorry that happened to you, but I am hoping this book kind of helped you go through it. So, just as a response to what you said, this quote might help from the book. Who we are, he said, underlining each word as he said it. Who we are, us, right? What kind of people are we? What kind of a person are you? Isn't that the most important thing of all? Isn't that the kind of question we should be asking ourselves all the time? What kind of a person I am? Learning who you are is what you're here to do. This was actually said by Mr. Brown on page 47. So yes, Sumit, please don't forget this because in the end, for all of us, not just Sumit, but for all of us, who we are is more important than anything else. Who would want to go next? Neeraj, do you want to go or Norm, you want to go?
Can go next.
Anyone?
Yeah, right.
Okay,
Yeah.
Neeraj. Yes.
So as like Sumit said, this book reminds our school days. One or the other way, I think every one of us could relate the stories, bullying or the friendship or anything. I think, yeah, and especially this was kind of, I think this is the second book or third book that I am reading in this genre, fiction genre. It was kind of new to me. Uh, I was not used to read sentences in between quotes, like, but in this book there are many. If uh, I think I had to train my mind to read those quotes. If there are three characters talking to each other, there were many sentences like quote and then X person said and quote then Y said. It was I trained my mind, but then it was smooth ride. Yeah, so I like the characters such as Summer's character, where it was very empathetic, and the without and we all find such friends. They are without any benefits. They don't want any benefits from you, but they are still good friends, and they are kind of with us when we are in a bad situation. Yeah, so that character is, and I think last couple of lines they are all related to empathy and kindness. I think this is the character which shows that value most. Uh, yeah, and Summer was there with Augie in all situations from day one when she saw him to the last day. Yeah, and she was there with him in good and bad time. So kind of this is the I think character which is close to my heart. Yeah, and but all of them are really one or the other way, they have different characteristics. Let it be I think we were talking about some mistakes in writing, right? There were grammatical mistakes or something like that, right? For one of the characters. I think these are the characteristics. Every character have something, one or the two things different, right? Might be that character has this kind of problem with them, right? So I feel that every character has something, some other unique style of narration, or their thought process is little different than others. So kind of good read. And as I was also impressed by this style of the where you have multiple point of views, right? So yeah, it is kind of really good thing to learn that, okay, author can also write in this way, and quite interesting to see what everybody is thinking about themselves. And then sometime and that was also kind of, when you have stories from multiple point of views, sometime it is interesting to know that, okay, person A is thinking in some direction and person B is thinking in some direction, and there was connection between them. There was an event, or there was some other person which was common to them, and yeah, so kind of their ways were crossing. So it was fascinating to see the interactions and cross connections. So yeah, I really enjoyed that one. Yeah, so I think, yeah, this is from my side.
Thank you, Neerav. That was amazing. Yes, about perspectives, this is quite a unique book because it does that pretty well. Narrating the same part of the story from two different angles. That makes you think, okay, in real life as well, if I am probably reacting to a situation in an XYZ manner, the person on the other hand, opposite, also has some perspective to offer. So maybe that's something all of us can think about or add more empathy when we are, dealing with people in real life as well. All right. So, Norm, do you want to add something?
Yeah,
What did you
yeah.
think? Yes.
I'll follow on from that. The next book I started reading was from two different perspectives.
Oh, that's nice.
I do love reading books that are from different perspectives. It was so funny because like one person was thinking so deeply about, oh, they're thinking this, they're thinking that, and the other person was not thinking that at all. So it really reminds you that whatever you're thinking about what's going on in life, it might have nothing to do. If you're imagining that somebody else is thinking this, that, and the other about you, just get over it, because they might not be thinking that at all. They might have something completely different on their mind. So, don't assume that other people are thinking things about you. The other thing I wanted to say about it is I mean, it was a nice, easy read because it's aimed at children. And I love this type of book, this type of like a social discussion about issues in the world that affect a lot of people, whether it's to do with how do you treat people who have disabilities in the world, what sort of issues are people with disabilities facing, or like Sumed said, how do we treat anybody? How do we treat people who are different, who we perceive to be different? And that is a big issue for somebody to grapple with. And this is a great way to bring that into the open and to bring it to kids and allow kids to think about it in their context. And it's a great way, with it being an easy read, to bring it into the arena for people who perhaps aren't used to reading fictions, or for whom English isn't their first language, perhaps. So it's just a fantastic way of bringing that into the arena. I personally love this kind of social discourse. I love Jodi Picoult's books because they do that a lot. Like My Sister's Keeper, which is a book about the first daughter was born very poorly, so they genetically engineered a second daughter so they could get spare parts from her, basically. And it was talking about the the morals of that and the ins and outs of that, the legalities. And these are things that can happen in the modern day, and all her books are like that. And it's a gripping story, and it makes you think about these kinds of issues. And I think Wonder falls into that kind of genre, but it's an easy read for a child, or, as I say, for somebody who might find it difficult to wrap their heads around that kind of more involved reading. I thought it was great. And it was fun as well in places. It wasn't all dead serious, it was fun as well.
Yeah. I mean, that was also one thing I wanted to do because we all have something going on, right? I mean, I just wanted to pick up an easy book where, all of us can breeze through it and just be happy that we read another book and it was a good addition. So yes, that is something that is necessary sometimes.
It's a book
All
with
right.
happy ending.
Yeah. You don't have to necessarily always read books that are sad. I mean, I don't know how many of you have read this book called The Kite Runner.
Yeah.
It's super. I mean, it's devastating in all ways. But hopefully, if we are a little advanced and we will read that book. But let's see. Anyway, thank you for your review, Norm. And yes, I did not think from this perspective, but social issues is one of the things that this book really highlights, and also because it is in the form of a story, it's a lot more fun to read. And yeah, so thank you so much. All right, I just have, I think, 2 or 3 quotes that I want to add from this book. So one of the quotes says, "I wish every day could be Halloween. We could all wear masks all the time. Then we could walk around and get to know each other before we got to see what we looked like under the mask." So I love this quote. And there was another. Oh, sorry, that's complex. The best way to measure how much you've grown isn't by inches or the number of laps you now run around the track, or even your grade point average. Those things are important, to be sure, but it's what you've done with your time, how you've chosen to spend your days, and whom you've touched this year. That to me is the greatest measure of success. So yes, I'm glad all of you have chosen to read this book. I mean, all of us have chosen to read this book together and spend time on this. So that's nice. I'll quickly play Ramya's review as well. It's a short review, so I'll play that so that we've heard her perspective of the book as well. Oh, you guys can hear it? Oh, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I thought everyone could hear it. Am I missing something here?
Maybe you can share it with sound.
Uh,
I
how do I
don't
do
know.
that? Okay, maybe we can all listen to it. I'll probably come
Or
with the book
from WhatsApp
next
group.
time from WhatsApp. Okay, it's just a 1 minute review. It's not much. You can listen to it on WhatsApp. Also, she shared it. I thought it was easy to play. Anyway, I just wanted to add one more thing. After you read a book, it's damn fun to go back and read the back of the book because it makes a lot more sense to you now. So whatever book you complete, just go after you're done with the book, just go and read the back of the book, and you'll find some interesting stuff written, and you're like, oh, now I understand what this actually means. Yeah, because initially it's just to attract you, maybe, and then eventually you understand it better. Just my perspective. And Also, maybe if you have time in the coming week before I announce the next book, which will happen right now. But in the coming week, you'll have to order the book if you're reading it and all those things. So you can watch the movie Wonder. It's very well made. It's not that bad. Sometimes movies that are adapted from books are not that great, but this one's really nice. So because you've just completed the book, if you find time during the week, definitely give it a watch.
Oh, I didn't know about that. That there's a
Yeah, there's
movie.
a beautiful movie. Yeah. The next book that we are possibly, yes, no, tell me.
I just wanted to say about the film, they
Yeah.
deliberately made the
Hmm.
little boy cuter than in
Yeah,
the
I
movie
agree to that
itself.
actually.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because they didn't want to frighten the children that came to the film.
Oh, that is why. I didn't know the reason, but I
Yeah,
agree. The boy was not that, I mean, the
he looked
definition
like
of
a
the,
very mild
huh,
case of Treacher Collins syndrome, and
correct,
they deliberately started off with quite a cute boy, gave him what looked like a mild case of Treacher Collins syndrome because they
correct.
didn't want to frighten the audience. Yeah,
Oh, thanks for that insight, Mom.
yeah.
Makes more sense now. Yeah. So which means you watched the movie, right?
I haven't watched it. I was reading about it.
Oh, go ahead and
Yeah.
watch it. You'll have
No, I didn't
fun.
want to spoil the book by watching the
Of
film.
course. I mean, now that you've read it. I mean, I
Seek it
always
out.
enjoy watching movies. After I've read the book, I'm absolutely, in for watching on the films. Of course, not before, but after I've read it, I'm okay with it. Just to, see what kind, I mean, have they made justice? Have they done justice to the book? So, yeah, I
I
think they
usually
have.
prefer to watch film first because the film, if I
Hmm.
watch the film afterwards, I'm usually disappointed because it didn't live up to the book. If I
That's
watch the
true.
film first, I enjoy the film, and then I read the book, and it's even better.
Oh, maybe I
So I'm
can
usually
give that
happy.
a go once.
Yeah, I'm usually happier that way around.
All right, I'll give it a try then. Okay. So the next book I was thinking we can pick up this book, A Man Called Ove. I'm hoping you guys have not read it. I'm not sure if you have. I was actually planning to pick up a classic, but this classic, To Kill a Mockingbird, is a book that I think
Oh,
most of you must have read it. I'm not sure. Maybe we can take that up next because it's a little more serious as compared to this one. This is also a little serious, but not that serious. To Kill a Mockingbird is quite serious. So maybe that we can take next when we have advanced a little and we're confident that, now we've all read two books together. Now we can go for the third. So if you want to read this book, I would request you to order it. And the plan is we complete it in July or maybe a little because we'll start next Saturday, which is well into July. So we might, I'm keeping a 1 month deadline for all the books because I'm not picking up such big books. So, and it's easy to catch up for a lot of people. And it's also easy for people who are reading a little slow. It just goes well all around. Okay.
I was reading
So,
about it recently, To Kill a
oh,
Mockingbird, and
oh,
there
okay.
were people accusing it of being a white savior trope
Yeah,
because
yeah. Again, it's
the
a
lawyer
social
in it,
injustice book.
yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
the lawyer in it was basically saving the black guy.
Correct.
But I think back in those days, it often was the white person saving the black person because the black people had no power.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah,
I mean, the
I
yeah,
times have definitely changed, but those characters, Norm, are so strong that I must have read the
they
book
are.
like years back, and I still remember Atticus Finch and Scout. I mean,
Yes.
that's something you just can't forget. So,
Kill a Mockingbird, right? So
yeah.
that's the yeah. So what a coincidence! Last night, I was in a cafe and they were playing this black and white movie. Uh,
Okay.
and the name was this
To Kill a
Kill
Mockingbird.
Mockingbird, right? Is that the I think that
So,
very old.
would you, nice. Would you guys be up for what that? No, let it be. Let's just keep that as a third book because I have this feeling you guys will find it a little serious. It is serious, of course, and the characters are amazing. But let's just keep it as a third book, okay? And this read this one next. This is also a very nice book. And of course, Frederick Backman, I think all of you have read together. I'm not sure if you were there in Anxious People. I'm not sure if you
Yeah.
guys have read Anxious People. You have. Okay.
That was
So
fabulous.
yeah, so his writing is very it's funny, it's nice. So we'll have fun. All right, I think that's about it from my side today.
So
And
July,
yeah,
did you say for that? Well, yeah, it's nearly July now anyway, isn't it?
yeah.
I've put a block on me spending too much money on books.
So you take a call, read the review, and see if you would want to.
So
Why don't you borrow from a library or something?
could do. But my phone physically stops me spending too much money on books.
Okay.
Phone won't let me spend more than a certain amount.
Makes sense. You should have a budget for books because otherwise
Yeah.
you see.
But if I get them out of the library, I will forget to take them back, and then that
Oh,
goes somewhere as well.
yeah. I've had that issue. I've paid so many library fees, so I just stopped getting from them. All right, I'll put this up on the group. Let's hope we have more readers this time. But I'm happy even with a small book, no problem. So, all right then. I'll post out the comment. I'll post out the message today, and we'll start on next Saturday. So please do join for the
Brilliant.
next book, and I'll see you soon. Then have a great
Great. Thank you, Nikita.
Sunday, everyone.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you all. Thank
Yeah.
you, Nikita. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye. See you.
Bye.
Bye.